Hello everyone, welcome to Johnny's NetSec YouTube channel. In my previous video, I showed you how to deploy Fortigate firewall using Azure Marketplace or using a VHD file. If you are using Marketplace, then you need a pay-as-you-go subscription. If you use VHD file, then you will need a license. The trial license wasn't loaded. In this episode, I'm going to show you how to install Fortigate firewall with trial license already loaded into the image. So you can use with any VM size, such 1 virtual CPU, 1 gig RAM. We are not going to use the marketplace. We are still using a VHD file, but it will be different. I'm going to show you step by step with those 10 steps, and then you can get decent Fortigate virtual machine image in your Azure environment and deploy it into your 1 virtual CPU, 1 gig RAM minimum requirement size virtual machine. Now let's start it. I'm going to show the topology first before starting lab. We're going to deploy Fortigate virtual machine with trial license into the Azure cloud. We're going to have two interfaces. By default, you will only have one interface, which is our WAN network, but we will add our second interface for our LAN. We're also going to create a routing table and a subnet for our LAN network. We're going to deploy Windows 10 machine in that network and then go to internet using a Fortigate VM firewall. That's our basic topology. You also can take a look at my blog post in the video description, which is going to show you even more details with the screenshot. Our first step is to download Fortigate Hyperv virtual machine. You can go to Fortinet website. After you logged in, from the support menu, you can go to VM images. In the VM images, select Fortigate as your product, then select platform. Previously, we used the Azure platform to download VM, but this is only for the BYOL. If you try to using Hyperv, you will see a bunch of options here. Remember this, I'm going to try to use 6.4.8 version because 703 VM doesn't have trial license. I have tried 6.4.8, this new deployment image, 64 megabyte. I downloaded it and I found it works for me. There's a trial license in this image. So let me show you that. I already downloaded on my temp folder, extracted everything, and then in virtual hard disks, you will see this FortiOS.vhd file. What we can do here, we need to convert it to fixed size the VM. To do that, we use Hyperv Manager. If you haven't installed Hyperv Manager, go into the control panel, programs, turn Windows features on or off. Then you should be able to see Hyperv option. Just click that, choose that, and then you will get the Hyperv Manager. I already finished those installation. Now I just need to convert it to a fixed size VHD file. VHD fixed size, that's important, fixed size. So I'm going to save it in the same folder as fixed Hyperv VM 6.4.8 version. The conversion only takes less than 10 seconds. After that, the the screen gonna disappear, then you will get at least 2 gig file. The next step is to upload it to your storage account in Azure. So to make things very simple, easy to do, I already did that. So I already created a resource group which has a storage account, storage for Fortigate firewall, and I created a container, Fortigate image, and I already upload this Fortigate Hyperv 6.4.8 VHD file here, which can save us lots of time. It will take 20 to 30 minutes to get it uploaded. Once you confirmed your VHD file uploaded, you can start to create the image. Just search the images from Azure dashboard, and you can use your resource group and create a new image here, and just say FGT4 VM. It's a Linux VM. You need to get the uploaded VHD files location from your storage. Account type is standard. I'm gonna put read and write, and review and create. So it shouldn't take more than 1 minute. Your image will be created. From the image we created, then we can create Fortigate VM. So we got our Fortigate for VM image. Now we can create VM. We can use the minimum size, 1 virtual CPU, 1 GB memory. You may want to allow HTTP, HTTPS. License type will be other. Here is a disk. You can choose standard HDD, or you can choose premium SSD, doesn't matter. We need to review all settings. So for networking, you will create a new network with public IP. So after we review the networking disk, those basic things, validation gonna pass, we can create our virtual machine. So the virtual machine creation will not take very long. Even the progress will show you probably more than 5 minutes. It will show you the deployment status. But as long as you got VM ready, you got the public IP for your VM, then you should be able to go in there to try it. So we go to our resource group, we go to our virtual machine. As you can see, we already get the public IP. We can try to HTTP to it. We may also can try HTTPS. We also can try to log into the virtual machine using PuTTY. So it will prompt you to change your password. Default, there's no password in there. So we are logged in. We can see the system interface. Port 1 is DHCP, we have HTTPS, SSH allowed. So there's one thing we need to make change here is we need to allow HTTP on port 1. Now let's try HTTP. Now we got HTTP access. So here is difference from previous lab. So we have to SSH in first to get our HTTP allowed. Then we can use HTTP to access our virtual machine. This is our standard setup. Give a host name and choose the dashboard type comprehensive. FortiOS 6.4.8. So we don't want to see it again. We're going to show you some new features. It's 6.4.8 videos. Now we got our virtual machine up and running. So I want to show you system FortiGuard, which is going to show you the license. So we have evaluating license until January 31st. Today is January 16th, so we got 2 weeks to testing this machine. So we done all first 5 steps. So we got our virtual machine. So now we want to add a new NIC, a new subnet, because right now we only have 1 NIC card. We don't have our LAN NIC card. So we're gonna create a new one, new NIC, a new subnet, and also we're gonna test it. So we're gonna finish lab 6 to 10. Yeah, we're gonna reserve the public IP for this virtual machine. So we're gonna stop it. That's the only way we can attach network interface to this machine. The VM status still shows creating, even I already deployed it like 20 minutes ago, but it still shows deployment in progress because we are using custom image. Microsoft wouldn't be able to know the VM status. Same thing on the stopping. I tried to stop it for the 30 minutes. It's still not completed that step. That is why right now we cannot attach network interfaces because it's not stopped yet. Anyway, we can still do other steps, like we can create our network interface. We're gonna finish those steps, create a V10, create a new subnet, and then we will go back to attach the interface. We go to the network interfaces. We have one already. We're gonna create our LAN interface. We name it as FGT-LAN. So we're gonna create a new subnet here because right now it's 10.0.0.0/24. We want 10.0.1. In that ways, we're gonna subnet. Go to virtual network first. Creating a subnet. We call it subnet. Then save it. Network interface. So in this way, we can choose 10.0.1 interface. We don't have any network security group. That's okay. So review and create. Create. For our testing purpose, we need Windows 10 machine. If you look at topology, we create the LAN network, we create a NIC card, and we haven't attached to the firewall yet, but we will create a Windows 10 for our testing purpose. Go to virtual machines, create a virtual machine, same resource group. We don't use B2S, which a little bit faster. I'm going to use a password to log in. You're going to choose image. Let's say Windows 10 image. We're gonna allow 3389. Next, for disk, we can use premium networking. We're gonna make sure it's using subnet 10.0.1, 10.0.1, which is our LAN network. We're gonna have a public IP for testing purpose, but eventually it will not use it after we finished our configuration. Let's create it. So we are deploying our Windows 10. So Windows 10 is ready. So deployment was succeeded, but our deployment for our Fortigate and stopping still not done yet, but that's okay. We're gonna RDP to Windows 10 to quickly see the connections. It will not use Fortigate firewall to go out because we haven't created routing table to route to our Fortigate file. We are pending the Fortigate firewall to be stopped, and then we can attach a LAN interface into firewall. So right now we just to see that Windows 10 machine is going to internet using Azure default gateway, which is 10.0.1.1. Eventually, we're gonna create a routing table to reroute the traffic to use Fortigate firewall, which is 10.0.1.4 to go to internet. We'll go there after we complete our settings. At this moment, we are just waiting Fortigate firewall to be up for us to connect into it. It's still showing creating. It may take 30 to 40 minutes to be stopped. Still not able to show us this attached network interface. So we up DP into our Windows 10 machine. So we can see this is our public IP 40.87.25.162. That's the default Windows public IP for this Windows 10, which is not using the Fortigate firewall. We will need to make that changes after the Fortigate firewall completely stopped. While we are waiting, we can do one more thing. We can create our route table. Before we create our table, we will need a bastion machine to access to it. Once we create our table, the RDP sessions might not working. So while we are working on that, we go to Windows 10. We use bastion service. So we're gonna creating a bastion subnet. Create subnet for that. 10.0.2.0/26. Standard, and then we're creating a new bastion for Windows 10. We're gonna wait that to come up. At the same time, we're gonna create a route table. So the route table is for the same resource group. We're gonna say LAN route table. We want to create. Let's go to resource. We have new route table. So for this new route table, we need to have a route. The route, we are telling the traffic where to send it to. Route to firewall. So that's gonna telling the traffic route to the Fortigate LAN gateway, which is 10.0.1.4, and that is for all traffic. And we have virtual appliance for that. We are creating route. So we're gonna associate a subnet for this route. So this will be our VNet. We have two subnet. One is default WAN subnet, and we're gonna associate the LAN subnet for this routing table. Basically, on a LAN network, we're gonna route all traffic to default to the Fortigate gateway IP 10.0.1.4. So right now, we are able to pin to internet. But after a couple seconds, then we won't be able to, because all traffic are on the route to a only existing NIC card 10.0.1.4. In that way, so the pin won't work. As you can see right now, it stopped working. At the same time, we lost our RDP session as well. Our RDP session not working anymore because the traffic has been routed to a only existing NIC card 10.0.1.4. Again, we are waiting Fortigate firewall to be stopped. At this moment, it's still even showing the creating status. So I'm gonna wait until stopped and continue the recording. Finally, we do see the virtual machine has been stopped. I'm gonna close this, refresh the page. You can see it's stopped. And let's go back to networking. So now we can attach a new network interface. So that's our LAN interface. Waiting NIC card to be attached to our virtual machine. Now we can see the IP address 10.0.1.4. Perfect. That's exactly what we need. We're gonna come back to Windows 10. We're gonna use bastion connection since we are not allowed to access it anymore. The traffic has been redirected to that Fortigate firewall. So the username. We can start our virtual machine now. We can start the Fortigate firewall. At the same time, we can use bastion to connect into our Windows 10. That's a username password. We set it up for our Windows 10 machine. So we still cannot pin. And let's look at the web interface here. We are not able to hit any internet website anymore. Okay, let's log in. First thing, let's check interface. We have two interfaces now. On the port 2, we're going to allow HTTPS without pin SSH. We're going to use the DHCP mode to get an IP. Right now, they don't have IP. They're using 168.63.129.16 as DSS server. Okay, perfect. It's getting IP. Now we go back here. We can pin it now. We also can. We're still not able to go to the internet because we don't have firewall policy to allow it to go to the internet. Now let's go to the policy, firewall policy. Create new. So we're gonna allow We call it default internet access. Incoming interface will be from port 2. Outcoming interface source will be any. It's all. Destination will be all. Service will be all. We do an AT. And we're gonna enable login as well. So we can see all traffic. This is our RDP session. It's not working anymore. Let's go back to our bastion connection. So right now we are using 20.124.0.175 to go to internet. That is our firewall WAN interface IP. So basically, if you look at our topology, this Windows 10 is using firewall to go to internet because they are using firewall's public IP. The Windows 10's public IP, if they are not using the firewall, they will be different. They will be 40.87.25.16. That previous IP we got from list access. So we also want to check one thing is we want to check a speed test. We are getting around, it was highest was 600 Mbps. It's for downloading, uploading seems higher. We get more than 800, 900 Mbps. So that's pretty good speed. We can test it again. So yeah, download it's around 500, upload is around 900, pretty good. And we also can look at the logs. So that's a couple of seconds ago from our Windows firewall, go to the internet, all those traffic. That's pretty much all for this video. Longer than usual because I demonstrate quite a lot of settings here, especially for Windows part to testing the Fortigate firewall. So if you think this video is helpful, useful, and you like it, please give me a thumbs up. Also, if you haven't subscribed my channel, please do. Thank you for watching, and we will see you in my next video.